What's up guys, Vex30 here, coming at you with episode 3 of Champion Chat. Today we'll be talking about Ying and her changes made to Life Exchange, and how that affects her right now in the meta. Be sure to check down in the description as I've added timestamps to the 3 parts of this video. So if you don't want to hear the next part, if you don't want to hear me talking about the changes, you can skip right to my general opinion about her. Up to you guys. I hope you enjoy this video and feel like dropping a like, subscribe, or tagging the post notification bell. That would be greatly appreciated. Also, be sure to check the description for a giveaway I'm running for patch 1.4. You can also find my Discord, my Twitter, my Twitch, all down below. So let's go ahead and move on to the changes to Ying and her legendary Life Exchange. Alright, so getting into the changes they made to Ying this patch, the biggest one of note is they changed Life Exchange. So they changed it from you take one of your clones, you get rid of it, and the right click does 800 healing to somebody. Short explanation, I don't know what exactly it did, something like that. But now they changed it to Shatter now instantly heals your target for 800 health but no longer explodes illusions, and the cooldown is increased by 1 second. What that means is you can now have 2 illusions up at all time, and also be healing somebody for 800 health every at max 1.5 seconds. So based on your loadout cards, that's where you take it to the 1.5, and I will show you my build right after this. But that's huge. Giving Ying a right click, hit scan, skillful ability that helps her become more viable is great. But with her illusions doing 420 healing every second, and having 2 up, 840 healing a second, plus an 800 burst every 1.5 seconds, Ying is shaping up to be a really, really good support. These changes on her have made her a lot better, and I just think that's awesome for her. Now, the one drawback is they haven't done anything to her auto attacks to work with this. So hear me out on this one. It does 5 ticks of 90 damage over 0.2 seconds every 0.5 seconds. So you do 450 damage every 0.5 seconds, 900 DPS. Between putting illusions down, right-clicking every 1.5 seconds, and trying to do damage every second, you're going to have really low damage numbers. And that's one of the main issues I see with Ying right now. And a lot of the new changes is they are lacking damage due to their cooldown rotation. Now, Ying more than the others, her healing per second overall is amazing. Plus a new illusionary rift, 600 healing per second, and 800 healing per second, 2 illusions, and you have the 800 burst. Ying is one of the best healers in the game at that point. But she can't really output the damage based on these changes. Now, if the cooldown was increased on Life Exchange, and the healing was the same, I think that would actually be better for her in the long run. As that would increase your chance to do more damage, get better cards, and just do more as a healer. Her healing's already great. I just think they need to do something to that and change it. But that is the main changes they did to her. Let's talk about how she was beforehand though. So Ying before the patch, her big thing was, if you saw Ying, you get worried, right? At least I would. She only had one viable healing legendary, in my opinion, Lifelike. Lifelike's still really good. And honestly, I was trying to make Lifelike meta right before the patch. I was playing her in some scrims. I think she was pretty good. But the issue is it limits your team because you have to place clones in certain spots, and your team has to go to those clones to get that healing. That's why she wasn't meta. And now with these changes, it's pushing her more towards meta. She was already viable, but they were pushing her more towards meta with this patch. Before the patch, I'd consider her viable. Nowhere near meta though. The last thing I do want to note on Ying is I think they need to do something with Dimensional Link. It is just a terrible feeling movements ability. When they delayed it, by like every 0.5 seconds you can move, they really hurt her as a champion. It's a quality of life thing. I get why they did it, but it's really bad quality of life to be on. And for the last note, let's talk about the build. Let's show you it. What I run is Brittle 5, which takes 5-second cooldown down to a 1.5 second cooldown. Spring Bloom is still important, guys. Your illusions are still the bulk of your healing. They are the biggest chunk of your healing, if done right. Carry On 3 is all you need. No more, no less. Now, I run Encouragement 1 rather than Flat Health or something like that because it works off your Brittle or off your right click really well. It takes 1 second off your illusions, which is already a 5-second cooldown. It's already low, so 1 second helps. That is 1/5 of the cooldown, which is great. You're taking off 2/3 of the cooldown on your Shatter heal when you're running this card, when you get an Elim, which is, like, you can heal, get the Elim, heal again instantly. 1600 health within a second. Damn, you know? That is great. And Dimensional is 14 seconds, so it really doesn't affect that, but that's okay. And then Rewind, I think, is a must, because when you Dimensional, you automatically put down a clone. So say you put down a clone, died, you put down another one, you take damage, you're rewinding. You're leaving a clone where you were, now you have 2 clones up rather than just the 1, you know? There are a lot of situations where Rewind comes into play for me. I think this is the best build for the new Legendary. Give you guys an idea real quick. This is what I was running beforehand. Just leave it on the screen for a second. Really not much to talk about it. I run this build for Lifelike if you want to run Lifelike, which I still think is viable. Besides that, I think that's it for Ying. Now we're going to move to part 3, where I give you guys my general feelings on Ying and how I feel she is right now in the meta. And I hope you guys enjoy. So getting into it, Ying has always been an interesting healer. Fun fact, she started out as a damage dealer. Now, I came into Paladins right after they changed her. I played Paladins whenever it first came into closed beta, but then I took a break, and then when I came back, it was right after the Ying changes. So I didn't really play her as a DPS. She used to be a DPS. Fun fact over. Ying has always been an interesting healer. She's always been in and out of the meta. She's never had a full place though. Before Damba came out, she was the main healer though, and she was the healer you would always run. Back in the days when drafting wasn't a thing and bans weren't a thing, Ying was the healer. She's always had this interesting concept of place it and forget it. But now they changed all that up with the change of life exchange. They took the original playstyle of Ying, kept it, but added a whole new variable to the champion, which I love, and I think should happen to more champions. Now this change, ever since day one, it was place it, heal 1 target, place another one, heal 1 target. Then they came out with the variation of Lifelike when they included legendaries. Lifelike at the beginning, guys, was 1 clone can heal 2 targets for 100% of the healing. That was insane. 2 weeks of that. I think it was 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks of 100%. A clone could heal 2 people for 100%. It was nuts. Ying was nuts. She was first pick, first man for like 3 weeks. And then soon after that, she died. That was the second iteration of her. The third iteration is now. Well, there was kind of a second, but it didn't really change her. They buffed Lifelike. When they nerfed her, it went to 30% of the healing, or 30%, 70% of the healing. Now it's 60% of the healing. Sorry, flip that around. 60% of the healing, and now it's 70%. No, now it's 80%. Jesus, I can't figure out my words. It was 70% of healing, now it's 80%. Jeez, okay, we figured that out. That's how it was for a long time. And until recently, I didn't really play with her. And before the patch 1.4, I actually played with Ying, and she was kind of viable. I played her in a few scrims and worked. But I didn't see the merit in her picking her over certain champions. Now with this change to Life Exchange, she now has places in this meta. I'm not going to go into specifics here, but there are times when you might see a Ying Life Exchange Ying in competitive play. With that being said, the way Hi-Rez changed Ying was how they need to change every single champion like that. They need to take a no skill, not played, and add skill. That's what made her better. It's a super good heal, but it's a hit scan, and it doesn't go through walls, and it doesn't auto aim. You have to actually aim and click every 1.5 seconds, or you lose the healing. The same with Damba, really. He has Eerie Presence, but I only take it down to 1.5, so every 1.5 if I miss, 1.5 second cooldown. You can still place and forget with Ying. But now you have a different element to the champion that really pushes her forward and adds to the game in general. Hi-Rez making these correct steps are really doing well for the game. I don't know you guys' opinions, but the changes to Grok, Pip, and Ying were all 100% in the better. Said this many times in other videos. Hi-Rez, I applaud you on this patch. Great job. I'm proud, you know. Between OB64, really OB64, there's just been a lot of disappointment. And it was rightfully so. People were just disappointed. Now, they gave the reasons why OB64, and it's understandable, but it's still disappointing as a longtime player to see that happen to our game. But ever since OB64 went away and Chris came in, Paladins has been going in a good direction. Now, there's still a lot of changes that need to be made. There's still a lot of bugs that need to be fixed. But they're slowly working on it. Every patch, things are getting better. Now, things still suck, right? Bugs are still awful. The balance is still interesting. TTK, I don't like the time to kill in this game still, but it's gonna get better. It feels like it's getting better. But things are going up. And if Hi-Rez continues on this path, Paladins is just gonna grow and keep growing, even though it's been out for a year. In full release, not a year in full release, maybe 6 months, I don't remember. But it's just gonna go up from here. And I'm just happy. Now, this seems like I'm going off topic, but a simple change to Life Exchange really starts a domino effect of making Paladins great. The game used to be easily my favorite game to play in my free time. Within the past couple months, kinda has again. Let's say 3-4 months ago, I don't think you'd catch me playing Paladins. I'd be playing other games. And as soon as Chris came in and they made these changes, I fell in love with the game again. This is why I started YouTube again, because I'm just happy playing the game. If you're not happy with what you're doing, why you're doing it, you know? But I'm getting a little bit more off topic. But again, the point is a simple change to Life Exchange to make it more viable and more champions to play and a more skill makes the game better. Now, let's get a little bit back on topic to Ying here. Change of Life Exchange really did put her in the meta. She already has, what is it, 840 healing per second with clones? No, 840, something like that. I think it's 420 per clone, or that's Grok's totem. I'm not 100%, but it's a lot of healing per clone with 2 clones up, plus ult. That's insane. Plus the right click. Her maximum healing per second is upwards of 1500. Now that's Seris. Seris's healing is 1000 healing per second. And that's one of the highest. I think is the highest. Yeah. And she has potential to be great. I think the only thing that holds her back is her damage. You are not able as Ying to do a lot of damage. Because think of it. In a practical sense. You're placing clones every 5 seconds. Every 1.5 seconds, you're looking for a target to heal. You're looking for somebody who needs to be topped off. Every 1.5 seconds, your camera is moving. Your camera is analyzing your allies, where they are, where they're growing, if they're going to take damage. This is all going through your head as you're trying to heal with the right click. All of this is going through your head, or should be going through your head. You're analyzing, you're looking around. Okay, Victor's over here. He's about to push into 5 people for some reason. I need to make sure he stays alive doing it. You're thinking about all that within that split second of 1.5. And you're looking over there. Tank's about to take a lot of damage. He's already half. Need to heal him, put a clone on him. Look right. Any DPS needed? No. Back to the tank. Right click again. Within all that time, boom, 1 point, you can't do any damage. That's the practical issue with Ying. Is there so much to think and do that you don't have time to just auto. Now you can just spam autos, but you're not going to hit. If you're spamming autos, that's another thing you have to think about. And as a healer, thinking, your brain is your most important asset. People always make fun of supports. That they don't have a lot of mechanical skill. They don't have a lot of this. They don't have a lot of that. Oh, fuck. I've heard it all. Okay? But brain on a support is what makes a support. And if you're thinking about all this and you're doing it all correctly and you're on the right thought process, you won't lose a game. You won't feel like you lost the game, ever. You will feel like you've done your best. You feel like you've done your hardest. You've done your best. You lost. It happened. Maybe you're Victor fed. Whatever. That's fine. I feel like I've gone way off topic with this, but it's just time to talk, right? This all leads back to Ying. Her damage. Oops. This all leads back to damage Ying. Yeah, Ying's damage. It's just her core issue right now is the support. The other supports can just do so much more damage than Ying. This is why she's not meta. Fully meta. First pick for supports. It's disappointing, but it's something I have to live with. And I don't know a solution to it. The only thing I came up with is increasing the cooldown of the right click, keeping the heal the same. She'd still be viable. I think that's it for Ying though, guys. I had a lot of fun talking about this. Went a little bit off topic, but I enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this too. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, tell me. You're rambling too long, Vex, blah, blah, blah. Tell me in the comments below. Make sure you guys check the description down below for all my social medias, for the giveaway that I'm running for 1.4. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment. You know, if you like the video, if you like this content, make sure you hit that post notification bell next to the subscribe button so you get all this content whenever it comes out every day. Planning to post daily, posting daily. More future content to come. Expect within a ranked placement game site. Let's be honest, I played them tonight and they weren't best. It went 10-0. It was a bit later at night and they were placement games. So I don't know how entertaining they're gonna be, but they're gonna be there. Content's content, you know? Yeah, if you guys comment, let me know what you think about all this. I really enjoy doing this. I love just sitting here chilling. I'm laid back in my chair chilling, talking. This is the content I love doing. I love gameplays and stuff, but this is fun for me. I'm rambling, like I said, so I'm gonna end this here. You guys have a good morning, night, afternoon, whatever it is where you are. Hope you enjoy your day, enjoy the next day, enjoy your week, be happy, be friendly, be lively, be a great person tomorrow, all right? Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.